Alright, so a little bit to say here. Not a ton of changes I want to make to the deck. I did go 3-2. Technically I went 4-2, but one of the matches was cut off, so I had to redo it. Losing to green-white hardened scales does not make me feel good, but Abzan Falconer is a pretty big part of that because it allows them to just fly over, kind of ignore all the stuff you're doing, and if you're not able to accumulate a big graveyard, or if they have Hallowed Moonlight, like he did, or if we just don't have a great draw, then, you know, they can kind of just fly over us and kill us. He didn't even hit us with, like, Mana Gorger Hydra or anything like that, which I was expecting. But first and foremost, the sideboard kind of stinks. I think we need to make a few changes here and there. I want more creatures in the sideboard because I need to make sure that when I'm boarding in stuff, I keep my creature count high, and I really hate boarding out like rallies and Cocos, and everything else is a creature. So first and foremost, I would probably go down a little bit on Dispel and Duress. I can't think of like a good replacement creature that would do something similar, but first I think you just don't need Dispel and Duress. I think you just want Dispel. At the very least, you never really want more than 4 of that effect. Kind of want something like Anafenza. I know that was the old tech, and the new versions don't play it, but I don't know, it would hit pretty hard. I think I would have wanted them for any sort of mirror match. Yeah, I don't know. Just looking over the deck right now, I mean, you can see the list is super just tight. You know, everything feels like it has its own place. It's possible we could cut a Catacomb Sifter for a second copy of Eiley. I only drew her twice. One time I think it was redundant because I already had it in Tuco Husk, but the other time it actually gave me a chance to win the game, whereas before, you know, I was just going to kind of peter out and do nothing. But Haruspex felt pretty solid. I might want to go up on one of those by cutting a Sifter, but I don't think you want to overload on too many of the effects like Catacomb Sifter and Haruspex. So if you add a Haruspex, I think it would be at the expense of a Catacomb Sifter. I wouldn't mind the second Eiley. I wouldn't mind a third Sidisi's Faithful, but I did board it out a lot, so keep that in mind. I'm not sure if you want 24 lands. I know a lot of older versions play 23, and maybe you could get away with 23. It is possible. But I'm generally more a fan of adding a land to decks rather than taking them away. But since our Jaces just so rarely survive in the early turns, I think, you know, because there's so many Grixis stacks and Jeskai Black and Mardu Green, decks with Fire Impulse basically, that Jace just doesn't survive as often as you need it to. And maybe we could cut one of those, or not cut one, maybe, you know, we just can't rely on it to make sure that we hit our land drops. So maybe because of that, we need to play 24 lands. Some potential changes to the sideboard. We could have some more Ration Cleric, some more Minister of Pain in case, you know, a Tarka Red shows back up in high numbers. We could, I mean, you want to keep most of the creatures that you want to side in, if you do side in any, to like a 3 or less casting cost, I think. I don't really want to play stuff like Fleshbag Marauder or Merciless Executioner because a lot of times the creatures you need to kill are going to exile the stuff that you sacrifice. Kalidas, for example, just really, really destroys any sort of Fleshbag Marauder attempts. Not only can, you know, they just kill one of your creatures in response and then make a zombie and then it gets exiled and then they sack the zombie, but they get another zombie after the Fleshbag Marauder goes away, so it's kind of a beat. But yeah, don't overload on Dispel and Duress. I think Owen played Despise, and I think you might end up having a similar problem if you play Despise, where you just don't have enough room to side all the stuff out for all the stuff you actually want. Yeah, anyway, that's all I got, guys. Really appreciate y'all watching the video today. Make sure to comment if you have any questions. I'm not sure I'll be able to answer them. I'm really just learning the deck myself, and I know it's a bit late to the party, but hopefully this gets me a little more prepared coming up for the SCG Open in Indianapolis next weekend. But yeah, Grand Prix DC starts tomorrow, so hopefully you're there. I know I'm going to be there. But anyway, that's all for me. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Todd Anderson at StarCityGames.com, and I'll see you soon.